Hey everybody, today we're going to review the SH Figuarts Star-Lord, the Japanese version, because I don't care for purple explosions. I have enough explosion effects to deal with, right? So we're going to jump into the figure, and right out the gate I want to say that they have absolutely knocked the Peter Quill human head right out of the park. They nailed Chris Pratt's design. Everything about it is what I'm enjoying. It's just that it's done so perfectly that you would say it's honestly Chris Pratt. Like he would actually play with this action figure of himself if he didn't already own the hot toy. You know what I mean? It's really well done. It's nailed down to perfection. I think that they have the likeness down to a T with him. I just really wish that this wasn't an inconsistent thing, but I'm very glad that they nailed it for Star-Lord. So in terms of the human head, it's automatic perfection. There's no crazy light shading where it looks like golden hair. It's actually a nice light brown, and I think that they're finally starting to get a hang on the technology, which is good because the golden stuff doesn't bother me anyway. But as far as the figure goes, let's go into the rest of it. Now, articulation is a big thing, so I always go over that, especially considering now you're trying to wonder why you're going to pay more for this figure when you want to get the Marvel Legend, right? In reality, you're paying for the likeness with this one. You're just paying because if your preference is that of SHF, this is totally up to you to get what you want. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you're getting out of Bandai at this point. And honestly, this figure is really nice. You know, articulation's there, as you can see. Now, it suffers from the Tony Stark syndrome, where the midsection right here is plastic, soft plastic. So you have to be very careful on how things look. As you can see, I had to rotate it so that the plastic came back out. But as far as posing goes, it's actually really well done. My only gripe will probably be that the arms are done with the jacket. So what happens is that this looks a little flat here, and it doesn't have the bicep swivel the way you would totally want it to, as well as being double jointed. For the most part, though, it still does everything else you would want it to do. The leg articulation goes about this far out. You still get the ankle pivot that goes all the way out and all the way in, and toe pivot as well. But as far as posing goes, I don't think there's any issues you really would want to have with this figure. I think it nails it, pretty much. It nails it down to the T. I don't have any issues with it. I think it's going to be dope. I think it takes a lot of dope pictures. But they just don't give you the normal head. And for the record, this is what it looks like under the peg. Just in case you wonder how it gets the range of motion. It's a super long neck with a super long ball joint. And the reason why is because even when you put on the masthead, they wanted to be able to have the full range of motion that you had when you had on the unmasked head. Which, outside of being really light, I think they nailed the design for this too. So I'm pretty sure someone can black wash this to be a darker color if they want, if they don't like the lighter color. I actually prefer it. It's a nice contrast to what the outfit's going on. Inside, if you guys feel like replacing joints and trying to add arm joints, I think it's totally possible. I'm no customizer. I lack that skill. But I'm pretty sure someone's talented enough to do that. Really, they just overall nailed the design. In comparison to other figures, obviously the previous Marvel Legends one, which is taller and bigger because it's 6" and not 1/12, I think that's what some people are going to aim for. They want their figures to be larger and in scale with their Legends. I totally understand that. Star-Lord also comes with 2 shooting hands. He comes with 2 relaxed hands. And he comes with his 2 blasters, which I'm going to call the hot and cold gun because that's what he used to do in the comics. You know, hot and cold gun. Now, in terms of the blaster hands, you have to be careful because they're kind of set to each side to which hand is going to be. As you can see, the indentation, when I move it forward, shows you which hand it should probably be on. Excuse me, I'm feeling under the weather, so sorry about that. Definitely drink some water after this. Let's swap this out for a relaxed palm so we can see how it looks. And as you can see, ooh, focus is all off. Sorry about that. So as you can see, he looks really good. Posing is on point. He can do running poses. The torso can swap and rotate all the way around. It can go really far down, backwards, go really far forward. I think they pretty much nailed Star-Lord really well. And if this continues, there really won't be an issue with the line because they'll continue to grow and get better. I kind of can't wait till they somehow obtain the rights to comic characters. Because if they can nail this guy like this really well, I think we're on the right stage of getting the things that we want more often, which are comic characters. I think the only gripe that like I said from before are the arms. Whereas the hidden bicep swivel will fool some, but there's definitely there. So you don't have to say it doesn't have bicep swivel. It doesn't have visible bicep swivel, in my opinion. You can totally rotate and do things that you want. He even looks good doing vanilla poses. So this is really good. Now, in terms of next to legends, like how he would look next to Yondu or other Guardians, we can test that out right now. And considering Yondu is an alien, I'm going to assume height really doesn't play a part here. But even scale-wise, I don't think it's too far off. You know, unless they were, I guess movie-wise, they would be the same size. But it isn't something that you can probably finagle with force perspective. As you can see, Yondu's a bit taller. So he's considerably smaller than Legends. Even with his old counterpart, as you can see, he's considerably smaller. So if you're a Legends guy, obviously SHF wouldn't be for you. It'll be tough for you to try to manage that size-wise, you know. Here he is next to Groot. As you see, Groot is actually off screen, so let's try to get this up there. That's next to the Marvel Legends Groot. And here he is, and this one is actually one of my favorites, the Marvel Select Groot, which is even taller, and I think that should probably be the best Groot for you. In terms of size-wise in comparison, I just think it nails the look way better. Next up, we're going to just compare him randomly to other lines and how he looks next to other SHF. Here he is next to SHF Captain America. Here he is next to SHF Doctor Strange. And I just want to be able to sit them down. That's why I had them pre-standing up, but that didn't work out in my favor. Oop. I forgot to put my camera down. Excuse me, you guys. Again, feeling under the weather, so I'm all over the place. Here he is next to all three. As you can see, he looks shorter than the three, and we do realize that Doctor Strange is a little shorter than the others. So maybe they're getting a little smaller in size and more compact, but I think that's all right because the figures actually work out pretty well. Here he is next to a Shokek Seiho Kamen Rider. So as you can see, this is not out of Bandai's range of height-wise. They've actually been shrinking, I guess, back down to normalize the lines amongst each other and themselves. Here he is next to a synthetic human, which you'll probably see in some photos later. Wow, he shows up really clear on screen. Didn't realize that. Here he is next to an AI ninja. Here he is next to Nightmare Batman from Mafex, which he is considerably smaller than. Considerably. And here he is next to a Mafex Captain America. Oh, sorry, not Mafex, sorry. Ugh. Next to a Mezco Captain America. Sorry about that. So he may be too small for some of you guys to enjoy, but otherwise, if you are collecting SHF, this is the figure for you. It doesn't really have to be an issue in terms of height-wise. This is just something that strictly you would keep with your other SHF. Otherwise, I know tons of people who are going to stick with their Marvel Legends. In the meantime, guys, I hope this is... Oh, before I forget, you can actually rotate this as well. Doesn't rotate too far, but it rotates enough so that you can get range out of it. Especially if you want to do the whole across the arm thing. But in the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found it informative. I hope you've been drinking your water. Be good, do good, stay out of trouble. Later.